242. This is just a short introduction to the course. So we're going to be using two programs. We're going to be using Laulima, and we're also going to be using MyLab. So we're going to start off talking about the Laulima course and then end with MyLab. All the graded assignments, except for forums, will be in the MyLab program, and you would access it through Laulima. This is what I see when I enter my Laulima page. Let me change this to student view. So when you enter into the Math 242 course, you should see something similar to this, except for that you won't see that red bar at the top. I'm on the welcome page. So there's a little bit about myself in the middle, and then if you notice on the right hand side we have announcements, and then down below we have forums. Okay, so you can look at the announcements here on the welcome page and forums as well. But if you look at the navigation bar, there's also an announcement link and a forum link there as well. So either way. When you go to the start here page, or the welcome page, sorry, and you look at my information, scroll down, a little bit about myself. Let me zoom this in a little bit. I have an office phone. I'm not on campus very often since I'm only teaching online. So if you call that phone number to get in touch with me, you will be asked to leave a voicemail, and then the voicemail will be emailed to me. So the best way to get in touch with me is actually skipping that whole voicemail thing and just emailing me. I also have a physical office on the Windward campus. If for some reason you want to meet in person, I usually go in once a week. My email, I respond within 24 hours, excluding weekends and holidays. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have my Zoom office hours from 2 to 3. These are open office hours. You don't need an appointment. You can just jump in using this Zoom link below. If you want to meet at other times through Zoom, just email me and we'll set something up. My normal working hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, except on holidays. So how do you get started in the course? Well, that would be below. You would read the Start Here page in the navigation bar, and then go to the syllabus, and then move on to week 1. If at any time you have any questions, you can email me. If you have questions concerning the Laulima program, not the course, but the actual Laulima technical issues with Laulima itself, then there's a support link here. And then if you have any questions concerning MyLab, then you can go to the Pearson support. Okay, so let's look at the navigation bar. If you go to the Start Here page, there's some tips for success, and then it talks about the course technology that you'll need and the hardware and software and so on. So you can just read through that on your own. Where to next? We're going to go to the syllabus. So if I hit the syllabus link, it'll open up in a new window. It opens up in a new window because if you are using, zoom too much. If you're using a tablet, oftentimes Laulima will only let you see the first page and you can't scroll through. So it does open up in a new page, has the contact information, has all the stuff we're supposed to put in our syllabus. Your responsibility is to be able to have access to internet, have computer skills, check your email, and you need to be self-motivated. This is a very fast-paced course. We do in 6 weeks what we normally do in 16 weeks. So make sure you set up adequate time to study. Okay, so here's your grades. Forums, we have 6 posts, 1 due every Thursday, and they're 5 points each. There are 26 homework assignments on MyLab. Each is 10 points each. And with that MyLab homework comes this portfolio. So the portfolio is just the written work that you're going to do as you go through the MyLab homework assignments. So make sure to number the problem and show your work. That would be your portfolio. And that's 50 points total. I grade it. Actually, I'm not grading the portfolio. What I do is I just scan through it to make sure you're completing it. And then once a week, I will scan through the work. And if I notice that people are making some common areas, say in notation, I will send that out in an announcement. That's too many A's. So every Monday, I will give an announcement on some issues I might see on the way you are writing out your homework. So quizzes, there are 5 quizzes. 50 points total, or 50 points each, sorry. So 250 points total. You get 2 attempts for the quizzes. You're going to have a quiz every Friday for the first 5 Fridays. So every Friday you have to submit your first attempt. If you don't submit the first attempt by Friday, then that first attempt becomes a 0 and you'll only have your second attempt for your quiz score. So even if you feel that you're not ready to take the quiz, you should attempt it anyway. So the first attempt has to be done by the Friday deadline. The second attempt can be done anytime during the semester. The deadline to submit the second attempts for all your quizzes is Wednesday, August 10th. There's also a final exam that's 200 points. Okay, so if we scroll down and you can read through the syllabus. You have some course content. Required material is MyLab program. And a graphing calculator, and it could be handheld, or you can use an online graphing calculator such as Desmos. That will be helpful to you. This is just information on the IDAP program where you're going to access your MyLab material. There's also some additional resources. We do have math tutoring at Windward. It's through Zoom. UH has some resources as well. They have tutor.com. And then they have a distance learning homepage. There's also other online resources that students find helpful, such as Symbol Lab, Wolfram Alpha, Desmos Calculator, and there's another professor that we often use, Professor Leonard. He does some really good calculus videos, and so on. So the additional information you can read through is just more specific information on the course requirements, so attendance and class participation. It's an online course, so there is none. Just make sure that you're keeping up with the material. There's points on the information on the final exam, on the quizzes, on the homework, on your portfolio. So if the portfolio is more so I could see how you write your work. Again, I'm not correcting it. I'm just grading you on completeness. So if you're behind at uploading your work, that's fine, as long as you get it all in by the last week of class. And then we have forum posts. We have 2 extra credit assignments. They are both at the end of the semester in the last week of class, and that's usually when people ask if there's extra credit. They're very simple extra credit. One is to do the final exam review that I'm going to provide, and the other one is to do an end of semester survey. So they're 10 points each for those extra credits. And then we have some information on if you have disabilities or if you find discrimination in the class, you can report me. No, don't. And then some important dates for the semester, such as the drop dates and so on. This is what I wanted to talk about. This is our course schedule. I set up the course so that it's a Monday through Friday course and there's something due every weekday. I don't have anything due on weekends. I don't have anything due on holidays. It would just be as if you were attending a normal summer class. However, you are free at any time to work ahead. And if you want to work on the weekends, you are welcome to work on the weekends. But I didn't think it was fair to have due dates on weekends or holidays. So if you look at the dates, every Friday we have a quiz. Except for the last Friday, because that's going to be our final exam. And every Thursday we have a forum due. So 6 forums. Everything else, all of these are the MyLab assignments. Again, feel free to work ahead. All right, so we read through the syllabus. I'm going to skip over this vital source for UH Windward CC IDAP link and go to the grade book. This is the grade book I will use for your course grade. There is a grade book in MyLab, but I use this grade book because the MyLab grade book is really sketchy with things like extra credit. So I just migrate all your grades to Laulima. There's an email link. You can email myself. or other members of the class, and the Dropbox. So the Dropbox is where you're going to put your written work for the MyLab homework assignments. So when you go in, you should only see your name. I go in, I only see my name if I'm viewing this as a student. And then I uploaded an assignment. I did 7.1. So please upload them as PDFs and just label it appropriately. So if I did 7.1, I'm just going to put 7.1. There's also this Capico tutoring link. It'll open up into a new window. And this is what I was talking about, where we have some math tutors over the summer. If I look at the Capico tutoring schedule, I get a Google Doc. Scroll down and we see the Math Lab tutoring schedule. So our tutor this summer is On. Right now, On is available Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday mornings. Wow. And then she's also available Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, and then some additional hours on Saturday. So above it says the yellow cells are appointment-based only, white cells are drop-in. So notice that On schedule is all white cells. That means you don't have to make an appointment. If it's Saturday at 10 a.m. and you feel like dropping in and asking a question, then you would just click on Saturday at 10 a.m. Now if I do it, it'll say, sorry, we're closed, because I'm making this video and it's not Saturday at 10 a.m. Okay, so let's close that out. And let's finally go into week 1. So notice that there are 6 weeks for the course. So every week you'll go to the particular week that you're in. It'll have a title of what we're going to cover, and then it'll have a description for the week. Lessons and resources, that will be anything that you need to help you complete your weekly tasks. In this first week, week 1, we have the introduction video, which is what I'm making right now. Instructions on how to register for IDAP. Well, let's look at that. So these are instructions provided by Pearson, and it tells you how to register for the IDAP program. This is just a generic instruction, so it doesn't show the particular information for our course. This is just a mock course from UH Manoa. So you could just follow through those instructions. Once you've registered for IDAP, then the next time you go into that link in the navigation bar, it'll take you to the course. There's directions on how to use the Dropbox, how to use forums, and there's also a link to your first forum. There's quiz 1 information, so you can just click on that. And for every section, I provide my own video and notes. So the notes are just blank notes, and then I record myself filling them in. These are optional, they're not graded. It's just supplemental material. If you think that you need additional help, you can look through these videos that I make. And they're kind of like this video. I just kind of talk and make mistakes and don't edit them. And sometimes you can hear the roosters going in the background. So that is provided. I also have a short glance of anything that has a due date. So Tuesday would be my lab math section 7.1 will be due. But remember, you can turn it in late. It's just a 1% deduction per day, which is nothing really. But it will add up if you're a few weeks late. And then Wednesday, there's 7.2, and there's a reminder that Wednesday is the last day to drop with 100% refund. So again, this is just stuff with a due date. Thursday, you have your forum and 7.3, Friday 7.4, and quiz 1 first attempt. There's also a reminder to turn your written work in for each MyLab homework assignment. Now you don't have to turn in the work for the quiz, it's up to you. But it is nice to keep your work for the quiz just for your own reference. There's also a checklist. This checklist is optional, it's not graded. It's just everything that you should do in the week, whether there's a deadline or not. So you should read the Start Here page, you should read the syllabus. and so on. So these are just resources for you so that you can stay on track. If you have questions at any time, at the bottom of each page, you can email myself if you have questions about the course. If you have technical questions about the Laulima site, not our course, but the Laulima program itself, there is a support link here. And then if you have any questions on the MyLab program, you can go to your Pearson support. So let's go back up. The first thing you want to do is register for MyLab. And you'll do that in the Vital Source link in the navigation bar. So I'm going to have to exit the student view because when I click on that link, I'm not a student, so it'll take me to it won't take me to my instructor page. Okay, again, reminder, email me if you have any questions. This is just super brief. So the first time you access MyLab, you're going to do it through this Vital Source link in Laulima. And when you click on that link, you should see this screen. You'll have this option to opt out, which I don't have since my screen is that of an instructor. If you opt out of IDAP, you will not have access to the MyLab course materials. You're going to launch Coursewares and go through the instructions on how to register for the course. Once you've registered for the IDAP course, the next time you go into the Vital Source link, and you hit on Launch Courseware, it'll take you to the course. Your view will be a little bit different than mine because mine has instructor tools and it also has student links. You should just see the student links. So you could just go into the MyLab assignments portion of the course, or you can go into the whole MyLab course home. Or if you click more, you could view Pearson announcements. So they will have downtime scheduled. If they're doing an update, they'll send out an announcement. Or at the very top, you can just open MyLab and Mastering. So I'm going to click on that, and then we'll review the MyLab course. Eventually, if it opens up. Okay, so this is what I see when I go into MyLab. Your navigation bar will be a little bit different since you have a student course, not an instructor's course. And this home page will look a little bit different. In fact, if I hit View Student Home, this is what you should see. You should have a calendar, and in that calendar, there are links to the assignments. So the blue dots are homework, and this orange square, that's a quiz. I'm looking at the current week, or 2 weeks rather. If I go into the entire course to date, I will see this Welcome to MyLab announcement that you can read through if you wish. But what you really want to look at is this browser check. This is super important. Make sure you do a browser check before you start working on the MyLab assignments to make sure that you have the correct plugins like Adobe or the CDF player. Now it says that I need to review my Wolfram CDF player. I'm not going to do it now, but I would check the version and make sure that I was up to date. So I'm going to close this out. Just make sure that you guys do your browser check. But you can also do a browser check from this help icon at the top. If you click on this, the last choice would be a browser check. So again, just make sure you do that. Now the most important link in MyLab is assignments. This is where all your assignments are for the course. Feel free to work ahead, not a problem. But there are also other resources. Again, these other resources are not graded. The only thing that you really need is the assignments link. But there's also a study plan. I've made it so that the assignments, each section assignment is roughly 10 questions around that area. So if you do feel that you need more practice, you can always go into all chapters. And let's say 7.1, you thought you needed more. So if you go into the 7.1, which is the inverse functions, you see there's a ton of problems that you can do for practice. And these problems will give you feedback as well. So again, optional, not graded. What's nice about this study plan too is if we go into all chapters, Let's say that you're a little rusty on derivatives from Calc 1. You can do some practice problems in derivatives. Maybe it's the chain rule, which tends to give people a lot of problems. You notice that some of them have this icon. That just means that there's a video that goes with the homework assignment that you can watch if you wish to. There's also a grade book. And in the grade book, you'll see that I attempted to do quiz 1, and I did my first attempt and I did my second attempt. On one attempt I got a 0, and on the other one I got a 10%. I did really bad. If in the grade book I wanted to review the quiz, watch what happens. It says you cannot review it. And that's because of the quiz settings. Once you've submitted a quiz, the only time that you can review it is right after you submit it. So let's go back into assignments. And I already did 2 attempts for quiz 1, so I can't do quiz 1 anymore, but let me do quiz 2. It says you have 75 minutes. I'm going to start the test. And I'm going to go through the questions. And let's say that I did some of the quiz and I submit it. If you don't submit the quiz, it'll automatically close out after 75 minutes. But I'm going to submit the quiz. And it said, hey, you didn't do anything. Well, that's okay. I'm going to submit the quiz anyway. Look what happens. It says, ooh, it tells me that I got them all wrong. You'll see a green check if it's correct. And then it says review test or go to results. If you go to results, there will not be anything there. Going to results means go to the grade book. And you saw that when I went to the grade book, I couldn't review. So as soon as you submit your quiz, you want to review it at that time and go through the problems. If you click on the problem and you'll see a little red arrowy thing, it'll give you your answer and it gives you the correct answer. So I would suggest reviewing and making notes on anything you had an issue with. So I'm going to close this. Well, my internet's slow. And go back. So we talked about the assignments, the study plan, the grade book. There's also an ebook. So there's an interactive ebook. And that would be one way that you can access the ebook. There's a static ebook. So the static ebook is more like a PDF or an HTML version. And that's the one that I prefer to look at if I'm going to read the textbook. You can also browse by chapter contents and just go to the particular chapter. In each chapter, it'll have some resources, it'll have the ebook, it'll have a table of contents, and so on. Also see down here, there's a table of integrals link. That should be, I wonder if it's going to be in chapter 1. Nope. That should be in chapter contents. Is it at the end? No. Okay, so in chapter contents, they have this table of integrals. We're going to talk about the table of integrals in chapter 8. Let me go back. So we also have tools for success. Again, just resources, not graded. Only thing that's graded is in the assignments link. So there's some resources, some resource manuals on technology, and so on. You can also go to the multimedia library and search by chapter and section. So let's say I'm in chapter 7 and I'm having issues with 7.1. So I can either just choose to look at interactive figures, I can watch videos, look at the textbook, look at animation, or I can just select all and see what they got. So if I scroll down, I see that they have the textbook section for 7.1 that I could look at. I can look at interactive figures. So those are a lot of graphs that you can move around. And I can also watch some videos. Under purchase option in the navigation bar, you can choose to purchase a hard copy of the textbook. But I'm pretty sure it's one of those loose leaf binder editions where it's already hole punched and you put it into a binder. So you can purchase the complete textbook. The textbook is 17 chapters. It's Calculus 1 through Calculus 4. Or you can just choose a single variable, that would just be the calculus 1 and 2 portion, or the multivariable, which would be the calculus 3 and 4. I don't know why they just have calculus 3 there. If you need to have accessible PowerPoint lecture slides or video transcripts to the videos that they provide, there's a link to that as well. And the last 3 are things that shouldn't show up on your navigation bar. So again, these are just optional resources. Assignments is the thing that you really want to pay attention to, because that's where your homework is, that's where your quizzes are. And that's it on our intro to the course. Please let me know if you have any questions at all, and welcome.